Prize money is an ongoing debate within the tennis world as the Grand Slams continue to respond to the ever-changing climate of sports. Jon Wertheim and the editors of Tennis.com, Tom Perrotta, Ed McGrogan, and Andrew Friedman, pick up the discussion.
It may be gauche to talk about money. We're going to do it anyway. 2012, and I think we'll see it again in 2013. The topic of prize money, particularly at the majors, reared its head. Why don't we start with you, Andrew? Do you think these players are getting enough money at the Slams?
I think probably they could get more, I guess is how I'd look at it. When you look at the amount of money that comes into a Grand Slam event and why people are there at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day and at the middle of the day, I think there's certainly room for players to be taking a bigger slice of the pie.
Tom, the Slams are obviously paying more money than the run-of-the-mill events, but as a percent of what they bring in, a percent of gross revenues, it's much, much less. Are you concerned with this?
The players have a great argument here. I mean, they take 20% or less at every Slam, pretty much, of gross revenues that comes in at every Slam. And if you compare that to any other sporting event, it's basically half, or even less than half of what any other athlete in any other sport is bringing in. It's a fantastic argument, and they're not going to get it all at once, but I think the Slams are responding. The question is how quickly they respond, and then what do the other tournaments do as well.
The big thing they have going, or I think the players have going for them, is they have Roger Federer in their corner. Now, he helps them on the court, obviously, given the men's tennis, the biggest profile. But he is also a big advocate, I feel like, for these lower tier players in the ATP, which I think might be surprising comparing it, I guess, to other sports. You know, you don't usually see that those big names kind of always looking out for, I think, the lower rung of players. And I think kind of his leadership, and I think it's helped the tour a lot in the past few years in many different ways.
We've heard boycott bandied around. I mean, how seriously, Andrew, do you think we ought to take those threats? The top players saying, you know what, Wimbledon, US Open, Australia, France, we don't see a significant rise in prize money, and we're just not going to play this year. Do we take that seriously?
I have a hard time envisioning that actually happening, and if you kind of listen between the lines a little to the way it's been discussed, I think it's very unlikely to pan out.
In terms of a boycott, the problem with the players, I think, is right now they're more united and better led than they've been in a while, especially with the men, the big four men. But there's always going to be divisions because every player has different needs. The top players want fewer tournaments. The players who are really low rank want more and more tournaments because they don't win a lot of rounds and they need to keep playing, keep making money. It's very hard for everyone to get on the same page. That's why I think a boycott would be tough.
Well, you're also
and a lot of these arguments are tough.
You're also sacrificing a chance at history,
right?
Nadal's
going to sit home and watch some guy ranked number 26 win his French Open. I don't think that's particularly realistic.
I mean, there's only 4 Slams a year for these people to grab, and if you boycott, that's a huge sacrifice to your legacy.
Making a 5th Slam, that helps prize money.
That's where Indian Wells comes in. But I do think that this is an issue. It was an issue in 2012. We saw Australia already a fairly significant prize money increase. There will not be a boycott of Australia, but I do think this is an issue that's going to rear its head in 2013.